I was given press access as a part of my relationship with Maxroll. In this case, we can have a look at what is coming for Last Epoch on the 21st of February with the 1.0 release. So many people were saying that Last Epoch's graphic is the only thing that is keeping them away from the game. Man, I do have good news for these players because look at this. It is actually looking incredible now with the 1.0 release. This already starts with the login screen. As you can see here, you can now switch from online to offline with just one click of a button, and you actually don't have to go out of the menu. And what's also really nice is you can now choose the audio device on which the audio is going to be output. Very nice for streamers, or if you are changing regularly between speakers and your headphones, for example. So that is now in the game, and we still have the same style of the login screen, but all the graphics are just completely updated. So does also the create a new online character menu, where you can now choose between legacy, which is basically what you are playing on right now with 0.9, and then what is going to be available with the start of the game itself, the 1.0 version. If you click on that, you can still choose your classes absolutely normal, and now you can also obviously see the Falconer right here with all of the skills, and also the Warlock for the Acolyte here on the right side with the Warlock skills that are going to be available. After you have done this, you can input a name here, and now you can actually choose between solo account found and solo character found. In this case, the solo account found stands for a shared stash between the solo account found characters, while the solo character found is literally one stash just for that character. So if you want to have a fresh start at some point or want to make it extra hard, this is going to be the version for you. And now we also have confirmation about the typical cycle length, which you can actually see down here when you are choosing your realm. In this case, the cycles will typically last around 3 to 4 months. It is actually incredible how much smoother the game now actually feels. And I do have to be honest here, I am currently playing on the US Central Realms. That means that all of my testing has taken place with around 140 ms ping all of the time, and it still feels much smoother and way better to play in terms of responsiveness and your ability to dodge some stuff or getting hit compared to the 0.9 version. On top of that, the tooltips now look completely different, and I think this is actually a really nice aesthetic for the tooltips. Now I think you can way easier read what is on the items, and you can still have the distinction between prefix and suffixes very easily. If I'm holding Alt down, you can still see the tiers, you can still see the ranges, so there is no change when it comes to that. In my opinion, this levels up the game's aesthetic by quite a lot. Now, this is one of the new items right here, and I think the new icons are just super nice. And then there's also the new character sheet, and oh boy, I love it. It is just so much easier to find your stuff. If you have been playing the 0.9 version, obviously it's going to take a little bit of time until you get adjusted to this, but please tell me that this doesn't look better than what we had before. The resistances are still in the same place, also the additional defenses, but up top here, so much stuff has actually changed. You can now actually see your mastery up here, and then you see your name, your level, and also if you're a cycle or solo account found or solo character found. And I'm also extremely happy that we now have a level indicator down here right next to the XP bar. What I also really like is the update to the quest log. In this case, you can now very easily see the optional and also the main quests, and you can now also pin stuff that you want to see in your quest log. So if I go ahead and I want to have the Arjani quest pinned, now I can actually see this here in my quest log. So also it works the other way around. If I don't want to see the mono quests all the time, now they are completely gone from the quest log, and it is very easy to go to the actual quests because you can always still click those, and that function is still in the game. And I think if you really want to go back and pin something so you don't forget it, that is a huge step up to what we had before. Another function that I really like is you can now actually shift and right click to instantly drop the items. So you don't actually have to drag them out anymore and then wait until you can actually drop them. No, you can just literally shift right click and they are completely gone out of your inventory. What I also love is that the teleportation problem that we previously had is now also completely gone. You will get into the loading screen very, very fast. Don't forget, I am currently on the US server, so everything is a little bit slower than it probably will be for you when 1.0 releases, but there is no big time between actually right clicking your destination and you actually going there. What I also really like is that we can now see the percentages at the top of the new health bar for a boss. This new health bar is also present on smaller mobs, but on the bosses you now can actually tell the percentage that is left. For the factions, you are gonna have access starting after the first Majelka quest, and you can choose between the Circle of Fortune here in the observatory and the Merchant's Guild at the bazaar. This NPC is going to give you a little quest where he prompts you to go and visit both of them, which is exactly what we're going to go for. Circle of Faith is basically the SSF version of the factions, and the Merchant's Guild is going to be your auction house replacement, which is going to allow you to sell and buy all of the equipments after you have pumped in the reputation. This is how the Circle of Faith is going to look like, again, in the observatory right here. And it's not as big of an area. You do have your prophecies here on the side, the telescopes that have the armor prophecies. You also have the idol prophecies, the accessories prophecies, and this one is the weapon prophecies. Now the Merchant's Guild's place is the bazaar right here, and this one is actually way bigger. As you can see here, we do have a lot of different NPCs that are classified into idols and also the class specific idols. You do have all of the armor types, you have the sword or the weapon types here, and all the staffs are up here, offhands, daggers, and then we get to the accessories here. So if you choose Merchant's Guild, there's actually going to be a lot of walking involved, and this is the NPC where you choose the faction. You can visit these places without actually choosing your faction, so you can have a look at both of them, but for me as an SSF player, the Merchant's Guild actually doesn't make any sense because I don't have any access to trading whatsoever. The Circle of Fortune is going to be much more helpful for me. In this case, we are going to talk to Galila, and she is going to go through some quest dialogue, and then we can choose the Circle of Fortune. You will be able to switch faction later on if we choose. So let's go here. We are prompting this one, and now we can actually start aligning ourselves with the Circle of Fortune by slaying enemies or completing quests. So just basically part of your normal endgame loop, and you don't have to go out of your way to earn that reputation, but it is going to take some time until you actually get to the very good things. Although arguably for the Circle of Fortune, you already have something very good to start with, which is enemies have a 35% chance of dropping twice as many items. Therefore, your loot filter needs to be very well tuned so you don't get spammed as much. And here you can see we visit the observatory where we are currently in, and now you can see the wares, so you can also gamble for quite a nice basis. As you can see here, melee damage, crit chance, spell damage. There is a lot of very cool stuff, a lot of nice implicits, and they are actually crazy. You do have one for everything. For example, if you look at this two-handed axe, melee damage, 100% increased physical damage, and then we also have much more good stuff. For example, the astrology amulet right here with the new implicit of less damage over time taken, and incredible items that are going to be really, really helpful. Then for the prophecies, you can actually look at these telescopes right here, and you have them divided into weapons, armors, jewelry, and so on and so forth. And you always have an introductory prophecy, which I currently don't have enough favor for because this character has just now reached chapter 9, where we were able to unlock the factions. In this case, we would have to kill a rare enemy in the Soulfire Bastion dungeon. Our rewards in this case would be 2 set shields. Then afterwards, if we have enough of the favor, which we acquire by completing quests and slaying enemies, we could choose between the other ones right here. And then the next one would probably be this one for 550 because the others are a little bit more expensive. And in this case, we don't even have a condition. You just need to kill 3 bosses, which is going to reward you 13 rare weapons. In this case, hopefully your item filter is going to be set up pretty well because that's going to be a very big explosion. Then next up, we do have stuff like Death of Siege Golems, which is going to reward you with 3 exalted one-hand axes. And there's the next one here is the Death of a Boss in a Monolith, is going to give us 1 exalted weapon. And then the last but not least up here is Death of Chronomancer Julra in the Temporal Sanctum, which is going to give us 2 exalted daggers. And then since this is the weapon prophecy, you can change up here to the armor prophecy, and then you can see there is going to be much more unique stuff. For example, in this case, when you are going to kill a rare enemy in the Soulfire Bastion dungeon, you are going to get 2 set belts. And then up here, for example, Death of Abomination, you are not going to get the normal loot table, but on top of that, you are also going to get a unique helm. In this case, 7 kills of rare enemies in Monos is going to reward 4 unique armors, and 6 Immortal Eye kills are going to be 2 unique helmets. And there's also a category for keys or runes and glyphs up here with the much lower price than everything else. For example, this one for 800, Death of an Arena Champion in an Arena, 11 Glyphs of Hope. And we also have arena keys. For example, if you kill 6 Giant Scorpions in Monos, you're gonna get 6 arena keys. So there is something for everyone in here, and you can switch around. Now we have the jewelry stuff here. We can go east, and then we're back at the weapons. When we go south now, we're back here. And this way you can just cycle through all of these, and then pick one that you desire, go and do the event with the certain condition, and then get rewarded with the reward. And on the telescopes, there are also these lenses. In this case, whenever you are ranking up to 2, 5, and 9, you are going to unlock a lens slot. And then we also have lenses, which are going to improve the prophecies even further. You can just normally buy these with the favor costs that you are acquiring while usually progressing towards the through your end game. And then you can buy these regional lenses, and then you also have greater lenses with stuff like reduced chance for prophecies to have monolith events, and you can basically design your own outcome with those, and that is going to be extremely helpful come late game. The regional lenses, for example, have stuff like increased chance per rank to find 2-handed maces, or you also have the same for wands, for example, and then also for crafting materials like glyphs and runes here, and also more chance per rank to find idols, grand idols, and everything that is connected to idols. You also can target farm weapons and also gear pieces as well as jewelry. And then the greater lenses are going to be crazy because now you can choose which form of content you want to take out of your prophecy. In this case, you would reduce the chance of having a arena event prophecy by 100%, and then you can fine-tune the type of endgame content that you want to do. There is one for all of the types, and there is also some very interesting stuff with the more costs but double the rewards. We also have lenses that increase the chance per rank to find set items, as well as the chance to find exalted items. And then behind my camera, I had hidden the 90% more cost of all prophecies, but they offer double the rewards. And we also have 15% increased chance to find unique items. So if there is something that you really, really need, then this is going to be the thing for you. These are gonna have different ranks associated with them. This one, for example, is rank 7, then the 90% more cost one is rank 8, and then the others, it's all in the tooltip right here. Again, this has only been possible due to my relationship with Maxroll. I am very much looking forward to finally getting my hands on the fully released version, which is gonna be on February 21st. I am going to be racing in the hardcore solo self-found race, so if you want to see me die trying or actually making it to level 100 in hardcore, I suggest you check out the Twitch link down in the description and also in the pinned comment below. I'm also going to be live right now after the video aired, so let's see if we can talk about the February 21 release and what there is to come for Last Epoch. But more importantly than that, if you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.